I'm back 2 months later. Hi. Oh my god. I got a little microphone here. I don't know if you can see it, but it makes me feel a little bit fancy. I don't even know if it's a good microphone. This is the first time I've ever used it, so. For as long as I've been around, which is 23 years, believe it or not, true crime stories have been incredibly popular. Whether it's a realistic documentary on a victim's lives, a psychological analysis behind the killer's eyes, oh, that rhymes. Whether it's a realistic documentary on victims' lives or a psychological analysis behind the killer's eyes. Where does it end? Who's gonna send them all the fan mail when they're in jail? Bars. So stupid. Anyway. Or even just a paranormal fictitious podcast, The Magnus Archives. But I'm not here to talk about that because frankly, they scare the shit out of me. I've listened to one, could not sleep. What I want to talk about is the fucked up side of the true crime girlies. The romanticizing and glorifying these serial killers. And almost just diminishing a victim's story just because a killer is hot. How do you pronounce this word? I don't know. I'm gonna look stupid on the internet. Hybristophilia. It's been a known craze for young women to experience hybristophilia. According to Wikipedia, hybristophilia is the phenomenon characterized by sexual interest in and attraction to those who commit crimes. One of the most infamous examples of hybristophilia is the large amount of women attracted to Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer after their arrests. Bundy allegedly received hundreds of love letters from women while he was incarcerated, alongside Jeffrey Dahmer, who has also had several women send him money, love letters, among other gifts. I couldn't find much of what Ted Bundy received from his fans. I know that he received letters, but there was much more information of what Dahmer received. Across all of the stuff he got given, he received $12,000. If that's how you get money, maybe I'll sign up for that. Anyone want to get killed? This is according to the prison records, by the way. One woman said she wanted to teach the serial killer Jeffrey L. Dahmer about Jesus. So she sent him $350 alongside some Bible literature. There were quite a few religious people that were like getting in on this, being like, oh no, God will save him. He's a good person. He just needs God. I think he needs much more than God, sweetie. Some of his gifts have come as far away as South Africa and France. One person in London gave him $5,920. Why? Hey, man. Why? If you're willing to just give that money to a complete stranger who you don't know, who's a bad person, what are you doing with the rest of your money? That person needs to be on podcasts that's like Bad Financial Choices. She needs to have a talk to this man to look at her expenses. I would love to know his reaction to her giving almost $6,000 to a serial killer. I do actually have some of the letters that Dahmer has sent to his fans. I couldn't find any like letters that fans have sent to him, but I did find a collection of letters that he has sent to fans. So I'm going to read those. This was on the 23rd of November, 1993. Dear Nick, hello my friend. It's good to hear from you again. The Wisconsin prison does not allow inmates to get stamps or aerograms from the outside. Sending me any of those would be a waste of your time. I might spend some time in the disciplinary block in December and I will not be allowed to write back when I'm in there. Yours is the first letter I got from Sweden, but I've had a few from England. How do you say until next time in Swedish? Your friend, Jeff. I mean, it's a nice enough letter. I guess it's cool that he's being nice to these people. He's not gonna be like, if I get out of here, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I don't think he'd be allowed to do that. Dearest Mary, hello. Oh my god, I read some of this before and I just don't know if I can actually read this. Hello, my beautiful summer orchard. This is a homosexual man, by the way. Just thought I would tell you that in case you didn't know. How are you doing today? Is your health in good order today? I sure hope so. Thank you so much for all of the great letters and cards. Boy, you sure know how to pick them. Also, I just can't believe how loving and generous you are. Do you have any idea how wonderful you are? Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Your kind gifts have helped me so much. Thank you. I think that all of your letters are great, no matter what you say in them. Except, I don't like it when they screw up and make you sad or angry. I never meant to do that. Jeffrey Dahmer, what are you saying to this poor woman that has clearly never met you and is looking for advice in you? Like, this is the kind of woman that would probably use ChatGPT these days to get like therapy and advice because she clearly is lonely. Why are you making her angry? Why are you making your beautiful summer orchard angry? I hope you are doing okay without that job. I know that you hated to work there. Are the unemployment checks keeping you afloat? Do you think that you will have an easy time finding another job? When you told me that you quit, I was very worried because I know how uncertain the job market is these days. You're a smart and talented young lady, so I bet that you won't have much trouble finding something that pays well and that you enjoy doing. There is nothing worse than going to a job that you hate. That boss of yours sounds like she was a real pain in the neck, say the least. Mary, you be sure to take care of yourself and remember that you're a treasure to me and are always in my thoughts. All my love, Jeff. And then there's a flower. He's drawing like a flower and he's written a little note as well that says, everybody needs someone special and my special somebody is you. All my love, Jeff. OX. Okay, who starts with the O? No, for real, who starts with the O? It's XOXO. Who starts with the O? That's deranged behavior. That's how you know he's a psychopath. Dear Richard, hello. How are you today? I just received your letter this afternoon. I thought I'd write back. It's always nice to get mail from someone new. I like to get to know you better. With all the mail I get, it's difficult to know who I should respond to. So in your next letter, would you please send me some really good photos to help make your letter stand out? You said that you're a bodybuilder. That's good. I'd like to see every unclothed, muscular inch of you. I'm allowed to keep any type of photo except Polaroid, so don't take the pictures with a Polaroid, okay? Well, Richard, thank you for writing. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you soon. Sincerely, Jeff. It's just hilarious, the difference. Now, over the past few days, I've been watching quite a few like true crime-esque films. I watched The Girl Who Escaped about Cara Robinson, Believe Me, The Abduction of Lisa McVeigh, and Prisoners. Two of those about real people. One of them is a fictitious story. And I didn't even necessarily like the creation of the films, but what I did enjoy about them is that you get to root for 17-year-old Lisa McVeigh when she's able to manipulate a serial killer to let her go, or you get to root for 15-year-old Cara Robinson as she sneaks through the house while her captor's asleep to try and escape, and she does escape. Or even in the fictional world of Prisoners, you watch a dad do absolutely whatever it takes to get his daughter back. When it comes to films that are based on real people, Believe Me and The Girl Who Escaped have the actual victims work with the creators to make their stories come to the film life. They focus on the escape and the justice rather than the sick thing that these captors were doing. These victims are working directly with the creators to make sure that these stories are given the right light. Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer's victims, however, didn't get much of a say in this. In fact, multiple families were affected by the Ted Bundy movie that was released and the Jeffrey Dahmer TV show that was released. Multiple of them have spoken out about their experience with watching the film, and many of them even said they weren't even asked if their story could be told. I just think if you're using real names, real quotes, real people, why would you not ask? Apologies if I say this name incorrectly. I'm going to try my best. Rita Isbell, whose brother Errol Lindsay was killed by Dahmer when he was just 19 years old, she said, "When I saw some of the show, it bothered me, especially when I saw myself. When I saw my name across the screen and this lady saying verbatim exactly what I said," wrote Isabel in an essay for The Insider. "If I didn't know any better, I would have thought that it was me. Her hair was like mine. She had on the same clothes. That's why it felt like reliving it all over again. It brought back all those emotions I was feeling back then." Isabel says she was not contacted by Netflix at all, and she criticizes the streaming service for profiting so much off this tragic story. She also adds, "Could even understand if they gave some of the money to the victims' children. The victims have children and grandchildren. If the show benefited them in some way, it wouldn't feel so harsh and careless. It's sad that they're just making money off this tragedy. That's just greed." A cousin of Lindsay also tweeted, "It's re-traumatizing over and over again. And for what? How many movies, shows, documentaries do we need?" Ryan Murphy and Ian Brennan created the limited series on Netflix, Dharma Monster. It managed to get to the streamer's top 10 within the first week of its release on September 21st. It's achieved over 1 billion views within the first 60 days. And as of today, it's still in the top 4 of Netflix Original's most watched shows. In total, there have been 31 books, TV shows, movies, theatre adaptations about Jeffrey Dahmer's story. Hey man, it's kind of messed up. As for Ted Bundy, Jennifer Stavros wrote an article on this situation. Although she wasn't affected by Ted Bundy directly, she had a murder in the family, so she kind of could give some of her own experience in this article. She wrote, Ted Bundy is a name you likely know. His deeds and actions are being discussed again across all media outlets at the moment. In particular, people are talking about how charismatic, intelligent, and human he was. The people that aren't being talked about as much, if at all, are his victims. My sister isn't one of them, but 30 other women far younger than her sadly are. These women and my sister have a shared common thread. They were all murdered. Moments like the release of Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile are exciting for some. For the families of victims of crimes, however, they open up the floodgates of frighteningly raw emotion. Seeing these wicked and monstrous people who hurt us and our families elevated to celebrity levels is, to put it lightly, discomforting. It also just is hard because when we read books, watch movies, or binge shows, we're constantly craving that connection to the character we're reading about. It's easy to connect with them when you have an innocent main character that's trying to get out of a harrowing situation and you're really rooting for them to win and get justice. But once the main character becomes the murderous person that the innocent one is trying to get away from, becomes a much more blurry line. Now, I'm not saying that we should stop making films where the main character is evil, like Joker or Dexter or Hannibal, The Suicide Squad, or American Psycho. They're all great watches and I do recommend them to people. Sometimes it just really rubs me the wrong way when we're making these adaptations about real serial killers with real victims and real families of the victims. And then you cast goddamn Zac Efron or Evan Peters, as the song goes, who is just sort of charismatic and white, alright? I wanted to know if this kind of obsessive behavior about serial killers is still happening today, and it took me a while of googling weird Google searches like Ted Bundy fan 2025 or hot serial killer. Might have to clear my history after those searches just to see if there was subreddits of these people having these fantasies. But I genuinely did struggle to find anything of much substance, which is kind of reassuring, to be honest. There were a few hybristophilia subreddits, but most of them were just to get people on the subreddit and then it would take them to a chat, or they'd say if they want to be added to like a Telegram or a WhatsApp or a Discord so they could talk there. I couldn't really deep dive into their personalities to see if they were actually kind of creeps, but hey, maybe I'll go undercover in a different video and go on one of those chats and just have a chat with some of the people. I don't know. What I did find, however, let's have a few reads. Here are some of the posts I found in my Googling. They're probably like 12, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to read it anyway because it's kind of funny, but they're talking about why they love serial killers. Someone asked them why they love serial killers. Because they're hot and interesting, and I think that being in love with a villain is better than loving a hero, and their backgrounds are so much better than heroes. Like, I fucking hate heroes with a burning passion. Hey man, if you're watching all the Marvel movies today, I get it. I kind of hate them at the moment too. It's basically women down bad for just an attractive man. Anyway, Tyler, 31. I have a criminal record for beating a woman, but we all have a past. I mean, he's got Tinder Gold. Kind of embarrassing. I gotta ask about this criminal record of yours. I'm intrigued, to say the least. She caught me cheating. Dude, this is not a good person. She caught me cheating, but this was years ago. I have to be honest, and I am not the same. I'll give credit where credit's due. I appreciate the honesty. Okay, that was not too bad. But unmatched with this man. I don't care if he's attractive. Willing to make an exception for blue eyes? Exceptions can be made, X. Good, X. I must admit, I don't shower. This guy's crazy. This man has said he's cheating. He's cheated before. He's bet up a woman and he doesn't shower. How is he still getting people? I hate pretty privilege. Gosh, this world, man, it's crazy. I also found, I'm not gonna watch this whole video because I'm genuinely, like, terrified by the idea of it.
Shea Groves was a true crime fangirl with Etsy posters of serial killers lining the walls of her bedroom. She studied true crime documentaries for 2 years, analysing the ways these people avoided police detection. And then Shea went on to murder someone herself in that...
That's enough of that. Etsy, why you selling serial killer posters, huh? Huh? People are weird. If you have a friend that has just serial killer posters in their walls, maybe run. Maybe get out of there. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say today. I'm just deeply frustrated by this glorification and romanticizing serial killers in media. The world will always be fascinated by serial killers and these true crime stories, but you just don't need to make a Netflix TV show about it. I think what's most disturbing is the new serial killer that's going viral at the moment in